Okay, we're here in Casa Grande, Arizona. Or not Casa Grande, we're in Coolidge, but it's the Casa Grande that it's named after. And I want to draw your attention to these supposedly ancient buildings. This one in particular. We're in basically like a big walled fortification. To me, it appears to just be sort of just like an old world military fortification. I'm going to come up closer to this and show y'all some of the details here. But the whole thing is very suspicious to me. Because this is another one of those instances where they're like, where'd all these people go? Right? Now, this building is supposed to be about 700 years old. Now, I'm not 100% on these details as to when they allege that these people all just left en masse, but I want to draw your attention to the details on the wall on the inside, because I don't believe that this is an ancient building. I definitely believe it's an old building, but I think that it's about probably 300 or 400 years old. I can't really say, but now look at this. Right, this thing is falling apart. But even though it's falling apart, up here you can see there's several layers to the wall. There's a sort of brick-like thing going on here that had a facade of, as you can see up here, very like nice concrete like smooth adobe, right? And as you can see up there, there are some graffitis and stuff that make it look as if there is a wooden floor up there that is gone now. So that wooden floor didn't last very long. See up there where it says JEE? That wooden floor couldn't have lasted too long. And there's no way. Okay, so that wooden floor was probably there maybe 100 years ago. And in the time since these graffitis were put here, and now, that was enough time for this wooden floor that is apparently, by the way, holding this together, because now that it's gone, this wall is falling over. So, we can't go inside, but now take a look at this topmost layer. That's like the under layer, and you can see it's been heavily eroded by rain, apparently. And yet, just right here, now some of this, you should actually be able to see pretty clearly how the difference in coloration is here on the left and on the right. On the right is where they fixed it, and on the right there in the center of the shot, like over here, that's the original coloration. So, yeah, does this look like it's 700 years old? To me, no. No way. Okay? This wooden floor, again, seemed to actually be a big part here. It's just built just like any old building you'd see in Taos. Now, of course, there's bricks and wood added. I'll show you there's more bricks and stuff, but, you know, of course that's a renovation, but now here's a good example. Right here. Here we have the underlayer, the old facade, and the new. This is them sticking mud on here constantly. As you can see, there's guys sticking mud on this stuff just constantly to keep it from falling apart. See, they're mudding. So this stuff's supposed to be like 1,000 years old, right? And yet, as soon as they pull it out of the ground, it's washing away. They have to constantly, as you can see right here, just keep sticking mud to it. Okay, take a look up here. Okay, Now you can see there had to have been a wooden floor up there 120 years ago, but it didn't last that long. So how did it last 700 years before hitting the modern era and just collapsing? That's what I want to know. Yeah, you can see obvious renovation there. This entire side of the wall here, up to this arch here, is replastered. And then, of course, you can see they have to stick bricks in there to keep it from falling over. Who knows how old those are? Those bricks don't look that new. But let's take another look. Okay. They are mudding. Okay, now we're on the, I guess this is the west face of the building. Again, you can see a lot of it looks like it's just been rained on quite a bit. Now, think about this. They're saying this is 1,000 years old, and yet they had to build this, or 700 years old. They had to build this structure to keep the rain from just absolutely washing it away. Now, doesn't this just look like any old Spanish military fortification that you would have seen anywhere? I mean, I see stuff like this all the time in northern New Mexico. So why did they decide that this is, you know, ancient Indian stuff? That's the question. Because it doesn't look that way to me. It looks like an old world military fortification that was hit with cannonballs and then abandoned. And then it became a tourist attraction after the fact in the 1800s. So, that's the story. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm not buying it. So, we're seeing 1871, 1891. All of this graffiti stuff is post 1860. You can see tons of modification on that wall there. One more thing before we leave is that they actually admitted on one of these signs over here that they do not know who lived here, and that this Hohokam thing, they just kind of came up with it. Yeah, I don't believe this is ancient. I think this is just an adobe building. Again, clearly it started collapsing not that long ago, and then they decided they had to do all this because at least back in the 1860s and 70s and 90s and onward, there was still a floor upstairs, and between that time and now, that floor had deteriorated. And again, just as an overview of why I think this is a lie, is that there are, you know, plenty of facades on the inside that appear to be old, about as old as the shit on the outside. The only difference is the ones on the outside are very eroded from rain. Now they're going to say that this couldn't have been, this had to have been several hundred years of rain. I don't buy that at all. I think it's, or, you know, like, yeah, 700 or 800 years of rain. But anyway, I just think it's interesting that they actually admit they don't know who lived here, and on top of that, they have to keep mudding this shit, apparently, all the time to keep it from just washing away. Alright.